Hail, hi, howdy everyone, old Greybeard here. Hopefully we got our sound problem fixed and worked out. Thank you, XSplit, for being you. Alright, well with that, I know I shot this video yesterday, but I'm going to shoot it again today because I wasn't happy with it. Yeah, we're gonna go through, give an overview of CRYOFALL, work through some action points, and try to teach everybody how it's done. I've got 100 hours in now. I'm reaching end game stuff, and I figured I wrote down all the questions that I had when I started out, and figured maybe someone out there who just wants to start playing this amazing game could use the pointers. So, for starters, what is CRYOFALL, and should you be playing it? It's a sci-fi game where you've crashed on a planet and you have to Robin Crusoe your way up from collecting bananas out of trees to building giant, massive behemoth mechs with autocannons and fighting off aliens and whatnot. There's two play modes. One is PvE, which is player versus environment, which I'm playing. And there's two, which is player versus player. The only advice I really have for player versus player, when you appear, join the first faction you can. I mean, just like join that faction, and they'll gear you up, they'll watch your back until you can kind of build things. When you switch factions, it'll take you 6 hours before you can switch factions, so just note that. But that's player versus player. Hey here, what's up? I'm doing a quick review and some tips and hints for a game called CRYOFALL. I'm not going to be super interactive. I'm going to be trying to go through a checklist pretty quickly because I'm pretty much using this to make a YouTube video. But if you have any questions, I love talking to you folks. So with that, yeah, that's the only advice I have for PvP is basically join a gang. Jump in, let them beat you up a bit, and they'll gear you up because you're meat for the grinder. So do that. The map is huge. I will show you. This is where I live, and these are like my little properties and my faction's properties. This whole peninsula is jungle. That's kind of where we live. Welcome to the jungle. But that is the whole map, and this is the very minimal. This is maybe like a quarter of the map that I've explored. So yeah, the map is huge. How to get back to yourself once you've scrolled out is to click on this little set waypoint icon kind of thing, and it'll jump you right back to you. The M key is your map, so let's get that. This is me playing Daedalic Studios, and Klee was on the production development team for this. It's an amazing game. It's multiplayer, and totally dig this. Okay, so with that, map is huge. One of the first things, as you're walking along, it uses AWSD for movement. Woo! And I will say, as you're walking along, there's going to be all these little things you can pick up and gather. Just grab them all. As you move along, just right-click, grab them. Some of them you have to stop for and gather, but you're just going to pick up everything, and then a crab's going to come chase us. And say that crab was a wolf or a boar. They're faster than crabs. To run, you hit sprint. So if I wanted to sprint past this crab, I would get moving and hold down the key and run, and I can still grab stuff as I'm going. And then I run into a nice sea turtle, and I say, "Hi, nice sea turtle," and then another crab comes at me. Anyway, you kind of get it, the gist of it. And as you gather resources, let's go to your menu. here's our menu. Oh my goodness, I forgot that I was in the middle of a bunch of huge projects building something. So, yeah, I've got a ton of stuff. But let's just go through some keys since we're here. When you're in your menu, the Alt key lets you use things like if I want to eat a nummy pineapple, I hit the Alt key and the right or left click button, and I eat it, and my little health meter down here goes up. Nom 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 nom. And what else do I have? I have some. This is mid to later game, but this is a can of meat. I'm gonna eat some canned meat, and see my bar jumped up. Woo! Because I ate that. You have to feed yourself, water yourself. You know, not much of a problem surviving, but I'm going to teach you some, like I said, some of the basics so you can. And it does have an amazing amount of RimWorld goodness to it, except the other people are other people. And my experience so far, like I said, about 100 hours in, is on a PvE server, everybody's friendly, everybody's trying to get everybody to advance, and so that's it's good camaraderie. Everybody kind of helps everybody out. Someone the other day didn't know how to use the talk buttons, so to get into speech mode, you just from non-screen you hit, well, no, oh yeah, because I just logged in. So I understand and accept the mods. So enable chat, you hit the enter button, and over here I know that it's kind of it's behind the stuff, but there's like local, trade, global, faction type stuff, and you can click on, let's say, local. I was trying to teach someone some things, so locally I would say, hello, my name is GB, and you will say it. And so you can communicate, and globally, when you hit the global and you hit the enter, it goes out to everybody on the server. Each server can hold up to 300 people. I've found that most servers, during busy times, are like 47 to 60 people. And like I said, it's really good, really good camaraderie in here. PvP, people will kill you for your sticks and stones. So anyway, let's move along. So like I said, you know, you wanna as you're walking along, gather what you can, just because you'll need it all at some point. And I'm gonna run around this crab because I didn't want to teach you guys anything about combat yet, because at the beginning, when you're starting, you will not have much for combat, and we'll get to some of that later on. But yeah, run along, grab some sticks, run around the crab, grab some weeds. Grab some weed on your way through as you run around. Okay, so then once you have some stuff, you can craft. Crafting is the C button. You hit the C button, and you have stuff that you can craft here. Everything that's blue means that you already have the stuff in your inventory to make it. And let's see, what do I have room for? I don't really have room for much. Boy, I was a silly man. Let me go dump some stuff real quick. Okay, so when you interact with most everything, it's a right click, and I will dump a bunch of this project stuff. So what you can do is, if you put one of everything that you want to store up in this box menu, you can then hit, there's take all, match down, and match up, which are the R, T, and Y keys. So like this, I'm gonna Y key and match up, and all that stuff went up into that box and gave us some space so I can teach you some things. So let's get out of there. Those are the magic keys. Okay, maybe I should set up a server for this and play. I'm sure I will love this. Oh, yeah, particularly like I said, if you're playing PvE, it's just, you know, 47 friends hanging out trying to make the world better. So those are some quick key stuff. Some of the things that I want to show people are when you're setting up, like this is a drying bench. Always just leave stuff stored in the bench. Like you're always going to need salt. So always just dump your salt in here so you don't have to carry it around, or you don't have to build a box to put the salt in. And then when, say, we had meat or fish, we could put it up in here and it would just start working. And you don't have to stand around and hang out while it's happening. You can start a project and just keep moving. So for instance, like I said, the big thing is don't stand around and wait for your projects to finish. Hit your C key. Let's make some thread. So we're going to click on thread. We're going to go over here. We're going to say let's make the maximum amount of thread. And then I tell it to craft. So it's going to craft 23 threads. I craft, hit E, get out of there. It's I point, sorry. And it's crafting it over here, and you can just then move along and go to your next mission or your next goal. Like over here, I'm going to grab a drink because my blue bar is not filled. And as we see, it went click, and we now have, where's it at? 23 thread. These are fountains and things. The game will teach you a lot of that, because it will show you up here behind my giant pumpkin head. It will give you your missions, and it'll walk you through the beginning missions to kind of get you started. So I'm not going to go over that kind of stuff. This is all the stuff that I didn't know when I started, and I either had to look up online or go to the global chat and be like, hey guys, I don't know what I'm doing. And so, like I said, I just kind of wanted to show people things. I have my vanity going. This is GB Farms. GB, that's the best B I could make with the land I have. And someday I'm going to make it so that it'll say GB's Farm, or GB Farm. And these are all my crops. We're going to talk now about farming. Farming, really and truly, to survive with food, just basic food, you really only need 6 farm plots. Like right here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like you can see it better over. Let's go over here to these moon plants that I think rotted. Yep, they rotted away on me while I was gone. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to find seeds when you pick up the weeds, the grass, the fiber as you're running around. You'll just get random seeds. And what you want to do is you want to take your seeds and grow more seeds until you have a plethora of seeds. Some seed options. That's going to be a good thing. One of the things that I do for farming is if you grow... These are all later on advanced plants, wheat and chili peppers and spices and milk melon, and don't ask, and some rice. Those are a little harder to grow. You need extra stuff. But when you start off, let's go over here, hope the light clicks on. Here are your basic crops. You've got peppers, tomatoes, and cucumbers. And if you have a pepper, a tomato, and a cucumber, you can go make a nice healthy salad. Now, when you do make a nice healthy, let me show you. We'll just grab some peppers, we'll grab some tomatoes, and if I can get around this glow bush, we can grab some cucumbers, and then we'll run back to the house. Automatic lights, gotta love it. Again, electricity and stuff. At first, you're just going to be running around with a torch. Don't feel too bad about it. it's part of the survival, and it's a lot of fun. This is one of the first workbenches you'll get set up at your cook table. And as you see here in blue is a vegetable salad, and I've got 1, 1, and 1. So I'm gonna go max. Ooh, I can make 2 healthy salads. So I will say craft, and I would jump out of that, and then my healthy salads will finish whilst I'm running around and going, oh, what's happening? But the cool thing, go to my inventory now and hit the Alt key and eat one of these healthy salads. And of course chat's in top of it, but right here you've eaten healthy food, and it gives you a massive bonus. 29% health regeneration, 10% radiation resistance, that kind of stuff. So a simple thing like growing those 3 vegetables, putting them together and nomming them down, that's just fine. That'll give you a little bonus, and it's one of my best tips for farming. Just keep that kind of stuff around. One big thing is the mulch box. The mulch box, you can throw anything organic in it. Any food you've prepped, fur, bones, food and things are going to rot, and you're going to throw them in there. But when plants wither away on the vine, they turn into vines, and so there is no rot. It was something that frustrated me. Like, it will turn into these fibers, and when you click on something and you try to put it there, it'll go red if you can't drop it in. It really annoyed me that plant fibers cannot be turned into compost, into mulch. I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but these are the things, like I said, that if someone's watching this on YouTube, click like, subscribe. Watching this on YouTube, you can stop, you can back it up, you can see the things we're talking about. So, my advice for farming: carrots are superfood. So, our friendly neighborhood carrots, you get a lot out of each plot, and I'm just going to grab one for showmanship. You grab a carrot, you come over here. I'm going to have to grab something else real quick. And some sand, which you can find on any beach. You come over here, this is your garden table, and if you look here, carrots, one batch of carrots, picking it, no fertilizer, not watered, nothing, gives you 4 carrots. It only takes 1 carrot and 5 sand to make a seed, so you can quickly turn carrots into more carrots very, very quickly. What I do a lot of times is I grow carrots. I grow carrots, turn like half into seed so I can replant what I had, and the rest go in my mulch box. It is the best way to keep the cycle going, so I grow a couple of big batches of carrots for nothing more than my mulch boxes. Because the higher end seeds like not tomatoes. Where are you, corn? Corn needs mulch to grow. What else does the basics? Most of the basics aren't. Corn. Anyway, there's a few of them that do need mulch, like wheat, rice, that kind of stuff. And most of the advanced seeds, like the chili peppers and things, they all need, and spices, they all need mulch to get growing. Let me check my notes real quick, because I don't want to make. I want to make sure that don't gather your food before you log off, because you'll have a bushel of cucumbers, and they'll rot before you log back on. So most crops, let's look, like these, 3 days, 13 hours. These carrots, they've got, well, I didn't take care of these. They've got like 38 minutes before they rot. But usually things will have like 24 to 31 hours before they're going to go bad. So it's best to leave them on the vine and don't pick them before you log off, because they'll go bad before you log back in. I've seen a lot of people do that, run through their crops, snatch, eat what they can until they're full, stuff the rest in a box or a primitive refrigerator, which is another thing you'll get to eventually. And by the time they log back on, their stuff's rotten. Speaking of food and preservatives, the best thing to make when you're starting off is jerky and jelly. When you pick certain... Oh no, lag. Okay. When you pick certain bushes... Okay, so... let's finish a thought and then move on. When you pick certain bushes... We'll go over here. Berry bushes, like this one, we get little orange berries. So you pick a few, you grab your sticks as you're running around, grab your weeds. Oh, come here, weeds. You gather the bushes. Never chop down bushes if you can help it. Literally build around them if you can, because bushes are random. You cannot plant bushes. And so if you kill off all the bushes in an area, they're gone until they grow back randomly. Let's check and see. We have enough. You need at least 3 berries to make some jam, jam. I guess it would be preserves. But then you come in here and we'll have to grab some sugar. Sugar you can find by lakes. It grows around lakes. It does not grow by the ocean. You'll get salt from the ocean. We'll cover that in a minute. But so then you come to your stove. Oh, look, I got berry jam sitting there. Let's eat that berry jam before it goes bad. You see this little circle? That's telling you it starts off green, and then it fades, and then it yellow, and then it turns red, and then the jelly disappears. So we're a little hungry, but we're going to eat this big old jar of jelly. Because nom. Okay, and because we're gonna make some more. So we're in our stove. Let's not make it here. Let's go to what you'll start off with a stove. That's an electric stove. Again, I'm a little later in the game. I've got like mining stuff and powered engines and vehicle bays and all that going on. But when you guys start off, one of the first things you'll be able to make with nothing but stone is, oh, I missed that stick, a nice little cooking stove. So you get your cooking stove, you put your berries in, you put your sugar in, and it'll say apply recipe. If you've never made this before, click browse recipes, and you'll only have a couple, so no big deal. And the berry jam, we click that, we select it, it's there. You've got to put fuel in here. So like right now it's burning the sticks that were already on fire, but all those sticks you were picking up, you can just literally throw them in there and they will be used to make your jam. Again, you don't have to wait while this is happening. We could go to the next thing and the next thing and do jobs and then come back when our jelly's done. But I want to show you some things. When you're burning fuel, like sticks, wood, something else burns too, coal, charcoal, it'll make charcoal, and these are things that eventually you use for more crafting, but you could also use this charcoal as fuel, and then we'd have to huck our sticks out. But anyway, yeah, so we made a jar of jelly, which will last much longer than just normal fruit itself, fruit and vegetables. So let's take our stuff back out of here. Yeah, and the other one is meat. And I don't have any meat. Let us go kill Mr. Crab, and I'll show you how that goes. So you got your weapon. Mine has a laser sight, and it's a military shotgun, so you won't have this at first. The first weapon you want to build is a crossbow. It's going to tell you to build a knife early on. Build the knife, huck it in a box, never use it again. Try to always not engage in melee. Melee is rough, and you're always going to take damage, and you're always going to be repairing your armor. So I would avoid that if possible. So with this, I've got a laser sight and a shotgun, and I see Mr. Crab there who wants to eat my face because he's a giant crab and it's scary. So I shoot Mr. Crab, and then I go over and I right click to loot Mr. Crab. Blom, 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 and I get some meat, as we see way over here. So what we're going to do is we'll go and show you how to make some beef jerky. Again, things that the game are going to teach you, I'm not showing you, so don't worry too much about it. So you've got salt, you've got your drying cabinet, you're going to put your meat in there, and it's going to take a while, so we will walk away and we'll talk about a couple other things while we're doing that, while we're waiting for our yummy beef jerky or crab jerky to be done. There's these bushes called oil pod bushes. You can't eat these, they will make you sick if you eat them. But every time you see them, collect them, because later in the game you'll be using them to make early oil before you can get an oil well to draw oil. So you'll use them for oil, or if you save a lot of them, you can throw them in your mulch box, and they make really good mulch. Other than that, to make salt, let's make some salt. So to make salt, you got to have some jars, empty glass jars, which you can make out of sand and ash and fire. Jars are simple. So put jars in your hotkey. Go down to the ocean, now that we've chased off, killed, and are going to eat Mr. Crab. Go down to the ocean, hotkey up, what one is that, 9? Hotkey your jars. Click once, no matter how many jars. You can have 1 jar, you can have 100 jars, you can have 27 jars. 1 click fills all the jars. And just 1 click. If you click twice or double click, you will drink seawater and you will be sick and nauseous and vomiting and not a happy character, and the thing gets all warbly on you. And so avoid drinking seawater. Good advice for real life and for the game at the same time. Let's do our little sprinty sprint. Quick thing about sprinting. Skills in this game, you get skill points by using skills. So as you're going along and you're doing stuff, that's how you gain levels. As we'll take a look real quick at my skills. I've got level 11 athletics because I run a lot. I've got 20 survival because I snatch up all those sticks and everything all the time. And as you do things and get better at things, you get bonuses for it. Like, see, I've got max health, max stamina, max food, max water, all that stuff. It takes longer for me to run out because I kept doing stuff. I'm good at certain things, and I love that. I think that's an amazing skill system. Do it, you get better at it. So anyway, oh no, I janked seawater. Oh, I left clicked on the stuff, so you guys get to see me. It'll get blurry, and if you look over here, it says I'm nauseous, can't eat or drink, and see how it gets all blurry and weird. Okay, because I should have right clicked and gone to here, and I've still got fuel in there, some twigs, so I don't have to do that. But now I reach down here in my hotbar, which I should have clicked off of, grab that salt water, put it up in here. It'll say apply matching recipe. Hit the apply, and the sticks turned into charcoal and ash. And then see how it's all fuzzy? And now your water is going to turn into Like I said, I wouldn't be sitting on the menu, but I want to show you how it is so you can just continue to do stuff. Like I said, early on you're not going to have a lot of saved space. Wow, my S is... you're not going to have a lot of save space, so you're going to want to stock stuff. Like up in here, after this salt is done, I could tuck these sticks in up here. I could put this sand up in here and use this as extra storage space, particularly if I know later on I'm going to just throw those sticks in there to make more to use as fuel later. Let's see. what's it? It is nice the game lets you multitask. I know. That's what I'm saying. The designers on this were amazing. They really did think of some good stuff. I'm going to get to a couple other things that I really love and a couple things I don't like. Let's see. A lot of games when you're crafting, you have to just stand there doing nothing. I know. Also, too, you can set up multiple crafts. And they only work on one at a time, but they all hot queue over on the left-hand side. Left-hand side? Yeah, haha. Anyway, they'll over here. They'll all line up here, and they'll craft, and they'll just go, and no matter where you're at, it's like you're walking along knitting or crocheting and whatever. And so just as they're done, they go directly into your inventory. And so you don't have to fart around with. You can start crafting something knowing you're going to need them, like bullets. You can start crafting like 80 bullets and then start running up to where you're going to use the bullets. And by the time you get there, ding, the bullets appear. And start your rampage of shotgunny death. As we see, we got our salt now. So we just pull it out of there. And like I said, we can stash some stuff. We can leave stuff here. The one thing you can't do is when you pull something out of the bottom bar, the feed bar, you can't put the stuff back. So if I pull this ash, see it turns all red, I cannot put that ash back, so I have to take it with me. And this charcoal, I'll just take it. Everything goes in stacks. Most stacks are 100 or 250. Almost everything is 100 or 250. I cannot think of anything that doesn't stack in those amounts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so taught you how to make salt. Taught you not to drink the seawater, even though I did it. Let's talk about fishing. Oh, I'm still nauseous. Bleh. The cool thing is you can make coffee and cigarettes and vodka and everything else in this. Some people will tell you once you can make vodka, make all the vodka you can, because particularly if you're in a PvP player setting, vodka gives you a buff to toughness, constitution, a couple other things that make you tougher in a fight. And so I love the idea of like everybody like, oh, screw it, we're gonna die tomorrow. They just grab up their bourbon and slurp it down. So anyway, I digress. That's mid game, possibly later game, depending on how you do your skills. Hey, wow! Speaking of skills, so as you do stuff, as you do everything, you're picking up stuff. As you were seeing when we were doing all that crafting and stuff, over here little green ones were popping up, and I was gaining what's called learning points, or LPs. And you can then go up here to or hit the G key and go to your technologies menu, and you'll see I only have 26 points right now because I just spent them all last night. Once you have these points, though, you can build on different tiers of technology, and each one of these has stuff in it that you'll be able to build, and then you spend your points on to get them. One of the things I said before is you don't have to learn everything, but you kind of do. As you advance in tiers, I mistakenly thought you had to do everything before you could go to the next tier. So I literally spent all my points on everything. But as I went to higher tiers, I skipped stuff. Like, I didn't do decorations in tier 2. I just didn't think anything about it. And then there was a lot of them that I didn't do. Like, I think I did offense, but maybe I didn't do defense. Or a couple of them I didn't do. But then when you get to higher tiers, the only way you can do certain things is if you have the lower tier finished or started. Here's a great... let's go here. So electricity here it says, I don't know how much you can see it on your screen. It says you have to have electricity 4 all the way filled to get, or at least 3 bars filled to get to this tier of electricity. Energy weapons, as you can see, I have to have offense tier 4, chemistry tier 4. But I'm green. I only needed that 1 box of industry, so that's checked off, and I could, if I got enough boxes in the other 2 techs, I could then go on to get these exotic weapons. It builds on itself. Each tier costs like 10 more points. So like tier 1 is all every skill, every product thing on those drop downs are 10 points, and then tier 2 is 20, 30, 40, 50 points to get new skills. Let me check my notes just to make sure there's nothing else. So there's up here behind my pumpkin head, there's going to be quests. Make sure you click and complete your quests. When you get all these, it'll say like claim them as often as you can, because they give you more learning points for every quest you complete, and it is the quickest way to zip through the ranks. I probably had 10 things to claim up over there before I realized, oh hey, there's those things up there. Click, and then I was like, oh man, I could have been much further along. Anyway, there's your quest tab, or the J key. Here's another tab. It's the completionist tab. As you go along, and as you catch fish, as you eat certain foods, you hunt creatures, or have to defend yourself against certain creatures, they will all fill in. Until you do, they're just question marks, and each one that you gives you more learning points. So it's good to do, to collect them. Here's looting things. As you're searching crates and piles and grab different stuff, you get points for it. So yeah, and interact with your environment as much as you can. Let's see. Fishing is hard. Fishing at first is really pretty hard, because the only bait you can get is like rock spiders. There's these alien Zerg guys who live in quarries, and their insect meat is one of the only ways you can get bait to go fishing. And once you kill a couple of them, you can come here and to the table. Let me see. Oh, I'm in the wrong. I should be in my kitchen. Lag. Yeah, here's some bait here, but I don't have any insect brains around to make it. But you would go to your cooking table, and you would go to insect bait, and you need 2, I keep calling them insect brains, but they call it insect meat, and to make 5 things for fishing. The big thing about fishing, good night. Have a good one. I'm glad we could kind of show you around. I hope that you have fun with this. I'm only going to be on for about 8 more notes. So if you want, check out over on YouTube for the rest of the hints to get going. But if you love RimWorld, you'll dig this, and hopefully you'll have a good time with it. Have a good one. All right. Back to, let's finish this up real quick. Claim your quests. Fishing is hard. The big thing about fishing is once you catch fish, they will go into your inventory, and then you have to take them from your inventory. Let's pretend this jelly's a fish. You have to put them down in your hotbar. You have to go back out of here, highlight the hotbar, and then just left click. And what it'll do is the fish, you'll clean the fish. It'll tell you what kind of meat and stuff you get over here. And, it'll tell you what kind of meat and stuff you get over there. And then you can cook up the fish and all that. So, so fishing is hard at the beginning of the game. Anyway, let me check. Oh, something about headgear. Say you want to run around looking like GB, reverse GB. I've got the gray here and the dark up top. But you don't want to run around with, you know, your night goggles or some goofy hat or helmet or whatever you're wearing. There is a little icon that's an eye icon right here by your headgear. Click that, and then you still have all the benefits of the headgear, but it doesn't show on your character. Let's see. Aha! Building things. Alright, to build things, you'll need a toolbox. You'll build a toolbox at your workbench. Over here. Toolboxes. You'll build a toolbox. You'll equip it. I have mine on 0. I just leave it in that slot. And now you've... Wow. Wrong button. Wrong turn, Clyde. So you got your little toolbox. What I really like... Hello! OG Chief Brian. Nice. Nice. Okay, Chief, or Chef Brian. Sorry. I thought it was a Star Trek reference to Chief O'Brien. Deep Space Nine, I love you. I know it's heresy when I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt. Anyway, so you've got your toolbox. One of the greatest things that the designers did in this game is you got your toolbox. Anything you walk up to with your toolbox, you can left click on and you can just move it. Doesn't cost you any extra stuff. Doesn't cost you, anything but your time to move stuff around. And you can do that with anything. Workbenches, everything you own, you can move around to anywhere you want. And it is so great because even your walls, you can literally take your walls and shift them around and rebuild your whole place without having to spend more materials or any of that. That is one of the greatest things about this game. Now, my complaint about this game and building is you cannot rotate anything. If it is built like this, that is how it is built. Said and done. All benches face, outward. So, like, for instance, I walk up to my armor bench. I'm actually standing behind my armor bench because that's the way it fits on the screen. My tinkering bench, if it was say this is a wall. Say this was a wall, I would walk up and I would have to walk up to my tinker bench to use it, and I would be technically standing behind the bench. My only complaint, it's a little complaint, like I said, you can it helps determine how you set things up. That's a good... Oh, Tripsy loves it? Good, because, man... let me see. You did too at first? Tripsy loves Deep Space Nine. I love Tripsy. Okay. So, like I said, that's cool. That's how you put your boxes and you build your stuff, and you can just move stuff around, and it's so good because you'll get a new technology level, and then you switch everything around to help sort out the new technology. It's amazing. Let me look real quick. Relocate is supreme. I already talked about crossbow early game. Crossbow is your friend. Build a crossbow. Don't work on the musket. The musket takes a lot of resources, a lot of metal and gunpowder and sulfur and things that you're going to need to turn into bullets, and then the bullets are consumed. The crossbow, a lot of times you'll get your bolts back, so as you're running around, twing, twing, let's go ahead and fire our real crossbow, because I've got a crossbow range in my basement, and I've got a medieval crossbow. Where'd my arrows go? So you get your crossbow. Of course, it's a crossbow, so You can now go over, and once you kill things, you can walk around and pick your bolts back up. And at the beginning of the game, it saves you crafting time, it saves you resources. Crossbow for life. I would get that here. I mean, now I'm at the point where I have energy weapons, which you don't have to build ammo for. You got power packs too, and you just have to recharge the power packs, but that's late game. Let's finish this up. Like I said, you'll have to make a knife early on to complete the quest. Take that knife, huck it in a box, never go back. Here is my original knife. There is my original knife. As you can see, it's at 100%. I have never used it. Melee damage will, fighting things in melee will get you killed very quickly when early on. Besides, early on, you're going to be running around with your axe. And so, oh wait, not a hammer. There you'll be running around with your axe early on, and that's all the melee weapon you'll need for early game until you can get your crossbow up and running. And let me see. Save the oil pods. You'll come along these little bushes. Did I already say this? I might have already said this. There'll be these little bushes out here that'll have blue. They'll look like blueberries. They are oil pods. They are not blueberries. I already gathered this one. Yes, we did talk about it. So save those for later. Crowbar to deconstruct. I have my crowbar down here in the 7 slot. Once you have a crowbar, you get close to anything you've constructed and left click. Hold the left click and it'll deconstruct it. Oh no! But again, I love this game because it gives you the materials back. You don't have to then go out and get more stuff to build it back. So we can quickly go back to our toolbox, go to B to build, go to stone floor, the stuff is already there, and I can rebuild my GB vanity tiles. Let's see. Some things as you're playing along. Once you have a hoverboard and drones, which we'll show in a minute, don't be a mineral hog. Don't go to people's houses or near their houses, just off of where they can build and suck up all the resources and then fly away on your hoverboard. When you're just starting off and you're running around with your crossbow and your axe and some guy whoops in on a hoverboard and his drones eat up the trees, it's deflating and horrible. So don't be that guy. Don't chop down gatherable bushes. I said this already, but yeah, don't chop down the gatherable bushes because you don't get to plant them. They just grow on their own everywhere. And with that, I think we're getting really close to wrapping up this version of CRYOFALL Beginner's Guide. So, one thing I want to show you because it is really cool and you'll dig it, because eventually what you're gonna hope for is get to the day where you have drone controller and you have drones. These are all minerals. You literally have to take a pickaxe and walk up to them and chip away at them to get minerals. Yep. And they appear over here, you get different stuff. But, like I said, someday you can strive for hitting shift, left clicking on a type of mineral, and your army of drones will collect it for you. And then you'll zip off on your hoverboard and make the poor guy standing there with his stone knife cry. No, be good people. Like I said, if you're playing in PvE, help each other out as best you can. And I guess enjoy. If you did indeed like this, if you're catching this on YouTube, you know, click, like, subscribe, hit those buttons so that I know that you want to see some more of these, and I will do an intermediate and advanced videos as we go along. With that, much love. You guys rule. I would be just a crazy old man sitting in my basement talking to myself if it wasn't for people like you. Don't forget to follow, blah, blah, bliggity, blah. With that, have fun, and we'll catch you next time. Greybeard, out.